Hey, my name's Ashton and I'm from Komatsu, Australia. Today I've got our PC138 US-11 and I'm going to go over how to do a tilt bucket calibration on our 3D machine guidance system. Let's get into it. To get started with our tilt bucket calibration, we just need a bucket calibration kit, which you can purchase from my.komatsu.com.au. Part number is RFK bucket calibration kit. Inside this kit will give you everything to do a bucket calibration on our 3D machine guidance system. Inside my calibration kit, I've got all the tools I need to do today's tilt bucket calibration. This includes a tape measure, a 600mm digital level, a Bluetooth solar level, a plumb bob, and lastly, a magnetic calibration rod. This allows me to stick this under the end of the dipper arm to extend the dipper arm pin as a point to measure off of. All right, first thing we want to do is we want to make the tilt bucket the same level as the machine. So we want to aim for anything between 0.5 plus or minus on the machine body side to side, and whatever the machine body is reading, we want to match the tilt bucket to that. So first thing I do is grab my level, I put it on the machine body. I'm reading 0.4. So now I grab my level, put the level on the bucket, and that's reading plus 0.1. We need to match the machine, which is 0.04. Next, we're going to attach the calibration rod to the dipper arm pin going into the quick hitch, just like that. And then we're going to get our plumb bob and plumb the bucket. Once that is completed, we're going to grab our tablet and we're going to open up our pilot app. Today we are running version 1.0.11.3. The version can be found in the bottom right hand corner of the tablet. We're going to hit the machine guidance. And once we're connected, top right hand corner, go to the bucket. We're going to add a new bucket, so hit the plus sign. And today we're doing a tilt bucket, so select tilt. First thing we want to do is name it. What I like to do first is chuck the width of the bucket in as the name. So we're going to do this as a 1500 mud bucket. And then we also want to add some sort of identifier unique to this bucket. So I'm going to use the number on the compliance plate. Serial number is KT13. You can also use your own naming convention, something that's welded onto the bucket. That way you won't get it confused with which bucket goes with which machine. Hey, next is doing our measurements. Our first measurement is A. A is center point here to center point here. We're looking at 375. Next is B, back of the bucket. So I've marked a spot here. We're trying to measure where it starts to curve. So where the bucket starts to curve, that's where we want to measure it from. So I use my calibration rod here to use it as extender. And I'm measured down to here, and we've got 1.395. And I've also marked that, so when we come back to do the IMU, I'm gonna line that spot up again. Next is C. We're going in front of the cutting edge to the center point here, and that's 1.440. Then we're gonna do width the bucket. So bottom of the corner of the cutting edge to the edge of the corner at the cutting edge, 1.510. Next is E. So we're going center point of pin to center point of tilt axis. So on the tilt bucket, it's gonna tilt down here just on top of the bucket. On a tilt hitch, it'll be more up top. So we're gonna measure from center point down to center point here. And that measurement is 0.623. Lastly, for the tape measurement is our cutting edge wear. So that's outside edge to center bolt hole, which is 0.110. All right, next step on this page is the IMU calibrations. So we've got an A and B and a C. The A and B is for the bucket IMU, which is right here. And then the C is for the tilt IMU, which is on the back of the bucket. On a tilt hitch, it's usually on the front of the tilt hitch in Australia. So I select the A and B. I've already got it plumbed. I hit the yellow button. Okay, that's got a reading. Now, before I move the bucket, I'm gonna hit the tick. I'm gonna go over to the C, which is the tilt IMU measurement. And now I'm gonna do the same measurement on the tilt IMU and without moving the bucket. Okay, we got a reading there. Next is the tilt axis. So I need to take a IMU measurement once the tilt axis becomes level. So I'm gonna grab my Bluetooth digital level. There's my solar Bluetooth level. I'm gonna chuck that on a part that runs parallel with the rotation point on the tilt bucket. So just in the middle of the bucket. I've used my phone here, and that's saying it's 0. So now I can take another reading from the bottom tilt angle measurement. And now we're done with the tilt IMU. Now we can go across over back to the bucket IMU cal. And then now we need a plumb bob that mark that we marked on the back of the bucket. Hey, now that we've plumbed that, we can take a reading, hit tick, go to the next. We're gonna use the bucket weight. So on the back of the bucket, there's a compliance plate, and that's 817 kilos. We're using the couplers to turn that on. The coupler weight, so now this machine, the compliance plate here, which is 183. Lastly is a measurement from this pin to this pin. So I'm just gonna level the bucket back out. Hey, once we've got that level, I'll get my tape measure, hang that down. I've got my level, which is gonna be level in the center of the pin. And we got 0.255. We need to pick the orientation of our IMU. So on this machine, the IMU is at the back corner of the bucket, and our IMU is facing in the direction of 1. Hit select, and then now we just need to level the bucket out. Once that's level, hit the yellow button, hit tick. We want to use the selected bucket file. And that's it. That's how you do a tilt bucket calibration with our 3D machine guidance. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.